Okay, so I know I just did a video gushing about Mario Maker 2, but there's so many incredible levels out there that I had to do another one, counting down the 10 most creative ones I've seen. It's pretty funny to go back and watch the last time I did this for Mario Maker 1, because my standards were pretty low. Simply making a cohesive level with a decent idea was good enough to be considered outstanding back in its infancy. Now, the community has seriously blown me away with the possibilities of what you can make. Not just in layout or use of items, but in theming, unique decor, or how it tells a story. So these are the cream of the crop. In no particular order, let's take a look at 10 phenomenally designed Mario Maker 2 stages. We're kicking things off with probably the neatest use of the darkness theme I've seen, to pay tribute to the massively popular horror series Five Nights at Freddy's. You're crammed into a tiny room with one-way entrances all around you, and the only light you see is from the enemies coming to take you out. Your method of defense is a P-switch that you have to kick back and forth to block their way in, but eventually they release more of their friends to try and overpower you, and they all have different paths and AI to pay attention to. It increases in difficulty over time, so eventually you'll have to move really quick in order to survive. The claustrophobic space, combined with the eerie atmosphere and real danger coming from all sides, made a fantastic impression on me. One of my favorite new additions to Mario Maker is the placeable songs from other games. And I can't think of a better way to utilize the Mario Kart track than racing against a blazing fast Koopa shell for first place. You face off in 3 total races that get harder over time, but I also love the aesthetic touches like the hyped up crowds before you start, the other racers getting ready, or the ending celebration as you stand on the podium. Also, when I died in the final stretch of the last race, I laughed out loud so hard. It was just perfectly executed. It's a simple concept, but one that's pulled off really well. It encourages fast reflexes and thinking on your feet. The auto scroll shows you where your opponent is at all times while keeping the pressure on, and it even uses music blocks as a 3-2-1 countdown before you take off. I love it. The dry bone shell was probably the item I was looking forward to using more than any other. It seemed to have loads of wacky potential, and the best level I've seen that focuses around its capabilities is one of Carl Sagan's teaching stages. This one has it all, jumping out of shells for extra height, how to combo from a stomp into invincibility, and even helpful hints if you miss a jump or get stuck. As is expected from a Kaizo preparation course, it ramps up the challenge at the end. But the way it tests your timing teaches you how to be better at using the shell in general, which is a really cool concept. It never stops being creative, and even helped give me ideas for my own levels. Way to go, Carl. I mentioned in my last video that Rising from the Poison was the coolest level I'd played, but the truth is that every stage by Wariozo is a work of art. Each one tells a story and has so much detail and care. But if I had to pick one to show off for you, it would be Spiny Pulled Down. It seems like somehow they spawn these spiky foes on ice blocks that float away, leaving them on the terrain around you. To proceed, you need to bounce on all of them in tons of different situations, like leading them to new ledges, swinging from claws and posts from broken chain chomps, or even as they walk back and forth on moving conveyor belts. It caps off with a heart-pounding final test of timing, and the whole thing just oozes charm, and fully explores a mechanic you don't really see in other Mario Maker stages. 10 out of 10 course and creator. Much like the dry bone shell, the seesaw has so many different functions, and the only way to make highlighting them even better would be to theme it around Gerudo Valley from The Legend of Zelda. As you explore these desert ruins, you'll seesaw creative ways to solve puzzles, like launching objects out of holes in the ground, or creating new platforms with the help of thwomps. My favorite part is this section, where you have to time the hits to send a shell into the on and off switch, to bring another shell down below and release a key. Things top off with a clever boss fight building off the main concept, and you're greeted with a magical tune after you conquer its trials. Now that is epic. With the addition of multiplayer, I was so excited to see how creators would work in co-op into their stages. But what about when you don't have any friends to help you beat levels? Well, Return to Planet Chain Chomp by Lantis has your back. Here, you don't need another player, just an excited buddy trying to jump their way across a gauntlet of puzzles. Sometimes you'll move obstacles for them, and other times they'll release vines for you or blow up walls. And together, you bond closer than ever, until he gets kidnapped, oh no! And you have to kill the evil Chain Chomp to get him back. This is a really creative idea, and watching the AI interact with the changes in the environment was a total joy to watch. Huge props for this one. Similar to the last stage, here you help guide little buddies through various obstacles. But this one has a bit more of a story. The mama Spiny has been abducted and you need to reunite the family that's been torn apart. I really liked this one because once you complete each section, the baby Spinies get caught in a claw, until you release them at the bottom one by one as you make your way back to the beginning, to overpower the evil piranha plant with their help and throw it into the lake. It's very satisfying, but don't celebrate yet. In a last-ditch effort, they try to make their escape while you burn away the henchmen. Afterward, the family is together again and bouncing for joy. I mean, this is just adorable. How do you not love this? If I play a stage and am not even sure how they pulled off their crazy shenanigans, I know it's gonna be a memorable one. And Burning Feet Syndrome by Julian is no exception. Things start out simple enough, but when an immovable wall pushes you off a ledge, you realize that somehow you can walk on lava. Yeah, you heard that right. Once you trust that you'll be safe, all sorts of weird things start happening, like pillars shooting out of the flames or vines leading to new areas. It wraps up with a fancy ferry ride, but this level gets bonus points for such a one-of-a-kind idea and defying expectations. Oh, and just so you know, apparently you can walk on cannons even when they're submerged in bubbling magma. Genius. Okay, what's next? Don't Turn Left Area by a Japanese creator that I can't pronounce, I'm sorry. As the name would suggest, this is a stage you must complete while always looking to the right. If you turn around, the floor will fall out from underneath you and you'll need to start over. But luckily, it has pseudo checkpoints throughout so you don't lose too much progress. I have to assume they pull this off by the same method that Steve Gaming showed off in one of his videos. But what's really cool is that once you finish the first section, you get to decide if you want to reach the exit or attempt the more challenging EX section of the stage. I like that you're given the option to opt in. And this part does not mess around. There's no springs, so to gain momentum you have to slide down slopes and keep bouncing while avoiding lots of dangers. This time there aren't checkpoints though, so you need to make it all the way to the end without turning around to win. Nice indeed. Before we get to number 1, let's take a look at a few honorable mentions. There's just way too many stages to limit to 10. You've probably already seen Super Mario Sunshine Sandbird, but it gets major props for such a cool idea of floating blocks resembling a moving creature. So awesome the first time you see it. Quiz Who is Hiding shows us how we can utilize different enemies' patterns to create various knowledge tests or game shows. Don't guess wrong, oh dang it. Stone Age by Leah96 isn't exactly challenging, but really blew my mind with the hidden thwomp physics highlighted to solve creative puzzles. Like, I have no idea how they figured this out. Super Guitario Bros is basically Guitar Hero but with POW blocks destroying munchers. And I love that there's 3 different tracks to choose from with increasing difficulty. Incredible use of placeable songs. And finally, Create Your Own Robot Boss Fight lets you pick and choose the different body parts of the mega baddie you'll face off against at the end, and even shows off the other possibilities in a museum afterward. I friggin' love this game. Alright, our last well-designed course for today is 3D Maze House by yet another Japanese creator, sorry again. To everyone saying slopes weren't that big of an addition to Mario Maker 2, feast your eyes on this. Instead of a 2D platforming stage, this one shows you a picture of the current room you're in, along with a map made out of on and off blocks and doors to explore the different directions. As you reach the ends of hallways, there's various guardians protecting pink coins, which eventually lets you reach the attic, containing an angry wiggler that cleverly grows in size as it comes closer to the camera. That is so awesome. While the layout and execution isn't anything incredibly deep, the presentation sets it a cut above, and is exactly what I was hoping to see out of Mario Maker 2. Pushing limits with the tools we were given. The creativity I've seen in such a short time from this community is amazing. If you're on the hunt for great courses like I am, what are some of the best ones you've played? Leave your level codes in the comments below and why you like them. I may just have to play them myself. I also want to plug my latest stage in homage to Shadow of the Colossus, where you climb the beast and collect its blood along the way. I tried to include as many elements from the real game as possible. Give it a try. It's super hard though, fair warning. I hope you've enjoyed and gotten some cool ideas for creating stages in the future. Maybe I'll have to do another one of these if there's more to see out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay frosty, my friends. If you want to help support the channel and get a ton of awesome rewards in the process, you can chip in at patreon.com/snowmangaming.